Hello everyone, it's Richard and Joan here from the GLP Farm in Denmark. I hope we will have some of you with us here.
Oh, 4, 5, 6. All right, it's going up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll give it a moment. Yeah, lots more are joining now. Okay. All right.
Hi Sarah.
Hello everyone.
Hi Laura.
Oh, okay, you can see who they
Great.
are. All right. Okay, yeah, people still joining.
Yeah, just give it a moment.
It's always like this with these international calls that no one wants
Hi
to...
Christine. Great. I'm pleased you figured it. Great.
All right.
Great.
Okay. So, someone's left already. Yeah. Nothing we said, I hope.
Couldn't have.
Oh no, they come back again. All right. Laura Lee, Sarah Persons. So.
Okay, so we're actually starting this indoors because it is really freezing outside. But we will give you a tour of the barn eventually.
Yeah. So, there's some things that I asked Joan if I could say, and then Joan will give a tour of the barn, the God's Little People new barn here in Denmark,
Yep.
and give a bit of a vision about what we want to do. And this is a really something of a change for us. I mean, everything is changing for us at this moment. I mean, apart from the weather going from lovely sunny Greece to freezing cold but beautiful Denmark.
Yeah.
It's a lovely day.
Yeah.
We have to adjust. We're going to have to think about how the cats will adjust, although we will not move them here until everything is ready enough. But of course, we can't wait for too long for that to be the case. So here's the things that we've really actually been up all night talking about this call, because the thing about these networks is we know some of you, and some of you have been to the estate, and some of you write in a lot, but many people we don't know at all. And that's something that seemed to us not really the best of all situations, because we are bound together in a love of cats. I mean, that's undoubtedly true, but something else as well which we've all share, and I'll come to that. So let me just read and try and remember this declaration that we came to through the night, which has been brewing in us for a long time. We've been trying to get a new place for at least a year and a half, knowing that we had to move out of Delphini, this beautiful little paradise. So, this is where this begins. And it's a kind of shift, really, which is that something has become abundantly clear after 13 or 14 years of doing this work. And when I say doing it, Joan and I always say, that it doesn't matter who's got a bigger spade to dig with, and clearly Joan's is the biggest spade, that I've tried to help where I could, and after all these years, something has become abundantly clear, that people use this phrase that, on the Greek islands, there is a cat problem. And no, there isn't a cat problem on the Greek island. There really isn't. But there is a human problem. And that's different. And I want to speak to you as one of the core team of God's little people. But I also want to talk to you from my life's work, which has been working with people. In fact, I've got some of my books here. This is one with the United Nations. This is a book I've written about really human change, also written at the United Nations. I've spent my life dedicated to trying to change attitudes in humans about living on this planet. And I, as strange as it may seem, got more and more involved with Joan's work because I could see that without an actual project on the ground that people could see the results of, change was a very ephemeral, vague notion. Even in places like, especially in places like United Nations, working with ambassadors and diplomats. And I became engrossed in Joan's work in a kind of secondary way, because I can't say that I grew up with a passion for cats. In actual fact, I'm born in London. I didn't see a cat, believe it or not, till I left home when I was 16 or 17. And I had no understanding of animals. I thought dogs would bite you, cats would scratch you, and anything else was best avoided. I mean, I had a very simple, ignorant philosophy. And until I met Joan, I wasn't in nature, the natural worlds, and being in London and being a city guy, city lad, I lived a fragmented life and had a head full of grandiose ideas, but they weren't real in a way. Anyway, I went out into the world and worked all over the world trying to change attitudes. But cats are not the problem, humans are. And as I've discovered, cats are exquisite. They're clean, they are loving, endearing, sensitive. They are incredibly self-centered, but in a very honest way, not like humans that pretend that they're not. I know someone's going to write to me and say, oh no, not all humans. Yes, I know not all humans are, but perhaps that's why we are getting to know each other, because perhaps we are some humans who intend to be proper world citizens, conscious world citizens. Cats are honest about what they like and dislike. They don't eat something to be polite. We've had cats that, have been really terribly treated, but after a week they're saying, no, I don't want that, I prefer this. It's so honest what they like and dislike. It is refreshing. I have tried more and more to be like that in myself, coming from somewhat of a middle-class English background where I would say, yes, by all means, give me that when I don't really want it. They're divine creatures. They're just fabulous. I could almost say I can't live without them. We've been here 1.5 days, and there is a strange sound in the air here, which is maybe this is where Paul Simon got it from. It's the sound of silence, that there are no cats.
Not as yet.
Not yet. Okay. The problem is humans. Humans are devious, selfish, dishonest. So, what can I say? They've destroyed the planet. A planet that tries every day to shine brightly, to process the waste. We pollute the planet. It is unbelievable. And it's ignorant. There are very few who set out to be destructive. We're now facing a global disaster. And we're realizing, which we should have done years ago, that our way of living is killing the planet, destroying the planet's ecology, destroying the animal life, the natural worlds. And maybe it's too late, but not for us. So We have been hit by the indelible truth that as much as we've given our all to this project for 14 years, Joan, I don't know what to say. If you haven't heard me say it before, you just work it out. How does someone do this 14, 15 hours a day? We've willingly given our time. We've given all our money, all our savings. We've been on alert day and night. Joan, if I can't find her, she's up in the hills because she heard a cat crying. When you get attuned to that world, you realise the natural and unnatural pain of animals living amongst humans. And we live in a small house with 12 cats, so we've given up our home. I mean, you've seen the Netflix film. We used to be quite well off, as they say. It can be tiring to have a tiny home with 14 cats. For me, I have to say, I'm not like Joan and some of you who'd say, 14, bring on another 10, bring on... No, I haven't quite got to that level yet. I'm still developing. So we're a community of cat lovers. And over the last few weeks, we've been trying with Helen, who you're getting to know, who's a fundraiser and a friend, you know, a cat-loving friend. She's got one of our absolute favourite cats from here that she has rescued and gives and breathes life in to each day. And probably it's the other way around, Helen. Adorable cat called Bella. But we have been trying to restructure this charity for a phase 2 and calling it People, Planet and Purpose, which is basically God's little people, but encircled by another ring which incorporates the work of working with people as well to try and change attitudes. And that's my work with my dear friend, who I hope is on the call, called Kay from New York. She's the one who helps with all the written work and helps, we're working partners. And so we are restructuring the whole charity. And we thought about what's this purpose, you know, because one of these words, I mean, I come from a philosopher's background, so it's a very deep word for me, but it can begin very, very simply. And funnily enough, I heard it on the Oppenheimer film. I was acquainted with it, have been for 30, 40 years now, but it's a Hindu concept that we were introduced to it by someone who's a bit of a natural hero. I say natural hero, we don't worship him, Dr. Albert Schweitzer, who said that in his life he's tried to do no harm. And that is something powerful, because there's the harm that you know you do, like people on the island of Syros, this glorious paradise, who run over cats and then speed up in the car so that no one notices. That's the kind of doing harm, you know. And then there's the do no harm where you don't think about it, like, oh, I tossed this can of Coke away, I've done this when I was younger. You know, I'm horrified to think how I've treated the planet. Never in a deliberate way, but now I think, oh, why was I so stupid? How could I not have known that we were gradually destroying the planet? We're careful today with how we use heating, with how we burn things. We're careful. And we are careful how we treat our bodies, which are planetary bodies. They're connected to the planet. They are meant to be in tune with the planet, so you can be harmful to yourself just by not caring for who you are. So, Greece, Syros, the municipality, the people who run Greece, and they're not worse than anywhere else. I'm not making a point about Greece. We have a great love, actually, of the people of Greece. But Greece has not given us one single penny towards the cats. Not one penny. Oh, they promised it. They promised us land. They promised us food. They even thanked us. They said, "You two have done our work for us.
Thank you for doing our work."
Thank you for doing our
That's
work.
the actual words, yeah.
And we looked at them aghast. I usually say something, but sometimes I can be diplomatic if I'm pushed to it. But we looked at each other and thought, how can anyone say such a thing? So, they never gave us a penny. We created a petition, 36,000 of you signed a petition requesting courteously that the municipality do something about the cats. They do nothing. They will do nothing. They prefer to spend their money on Ferris wheels and slides and tourist gimmicks to get as many people on the island as possible to sell the ecology of beautiful Greece while tourists come and ruin the island. And you might have seen this last year, the Acropolis, a temple to high wisdom, had 10,000 people an hour swarming over it. The latest thing being graffiti, apart from the pollution, apart from how can you appreciate anything in that kind of ecology. So, what have we done for Syros, you might ask? We brought thousands of people. Through the Netflix film about our work, we're really reluctant Netflix stars, Joan and Helen and others who've been on it. People come to the island, but not just to the island. Ironically, they come to where we live, which is now the in place to buy land. There's not a single piece of land left because it is so beautiful, but ironically, that means that the cats have less and less room to move. Yeah. They can't run around as they were wont to when we first moved there.
Yeah. Less tolerance for them.
Less tolerance from the neighbours. From new people who march in from all corners of Europe saying, well, we don't really like cats in our area. Excuse me. That's what began God's little people, is our view that the cats had a right to be there. Yeah. And we'd build the gardens around the cats, not the other way around. But humans, ignorant, sorry. So we took the decision that given the fact that humans have also created a warming world, the climate of Greece now is semi-tropical. There's now different plants in the last 5 years than there used to be. It's beautiful still. It's wonderful still. But there are many of our cats who we have promised a lifetime's care to. And this again is a notion of Joan's that I've agreed to, that is dear to my heart. Not just how we are with each other, but with the cats. We said to them, we will never abandon you.
It's a lifetime's contract.
A lifetime's contract.
Yeah.
Are you talking about us or the cats?
That too.
So, right, that means that if we keep them there, you know, there's Sparky with his white ears which are burning in the sun. There's this cat that can't tolerate the heat. Well, they're refugees from climate change. So they're going to be amongst the first 10 or 15 cats that we bring here. We're going to do this, damn it, with anyone's help or without it, excuse me, but we will. And you've seen us, right, that we lost one farm, we lost this place, we had no money. I don't even know how we quite got this place. We got the help of 5 super patrons.
Yeah, that is actually how we did it.
Yeah, and one of them, Becca, is there enjoying a free week at the estate because she lent quite a good sum of money to become a super patron. And what does she do? She rolls up her sleeves, breathes in some Greek air, says how wonderful it is, and
gets to work with the cats.
Gets to work. And is happy doing it. Thank you, Becca. Yeah, you're a doll. Fantastic. Thank you. We finally have a little team. I can't tell you how many people have come and gone where we've tried to explain these things to them. We have been so alone when people come. They get a lovely little place to stay. They get their electricity paid. That's from Joan and us. The charity can't pay it. They get the water paid. They get to use the car. The petrol's paid. They get a monthly allowance to live well. And people came and went saying, where's the beach? And, left a bit of food down on the ground. And of course we parted ways. So now we have a little team. And they're on this call. There's Melinda from Sweden, who's trained as a vet nurse, and she comes whenever we can afford for her to come. And she travels half the way around Europe through the middle of the night to get a cheap flight. Yeah. God bless her. And when she comes, she's an absolute godsend. And then we've got dear Gail, who pours her love on these adopted cats. And I know, because I've taken some of these cats around, in fact, I took cats to the US. It is a very nerve-wracking business because you care so deeply about a cat on a plane, and yet you're the one who's brought them into this weird environment, flying up in the air at thousands of miles an hour, and you're in a state of absolute tension, or on a plane. Or Gail travelled half the way around Europe with 4 of them, 5 of them sometimes, trying to catch flights and trains and getting it all to work in the middle of the night, not complaining one bit. And, well, she's a godsend to our charity. Yeah. And we wish we had the money. And, this is not a pitch about us, but we live like poor people. And we used to be wealthy people. And that's our problem to get over. And that's not for anyone. Please don't send us any money. I'm just making the point that every penny we can, what gives our life meaning is being of service. So we'd like to support a team. We'd like to get a bigger team. Yeah. What can we do? And that obviously is where this is driving to. What can we do? We've been on and off about selling one of the houses, and you've seen it. It comes up, and then we take it down, and it comes up. And here's the contradiction, and we'd like you to understand our contradiction. We go to the realtors. That's American, is it? Yeah. Real estate agents. Eiendomsmægler for the Danes there. Yeah. And we say, do you think you can sell this house? Yes. Delphini is the absolute top area. Yes. We have Russian oligarchs looking to live in these kind of areas and to invest their money. And we say to them, we don't care if they're Russian or if they're oligarchs. We want to know that they're cat-loving people, who are going to be kind to the cats. And they look at us like we're crazy and say, you could make a fortune out of this house. Yeah. We are not trying to make a fortune and sell all of this down the Swanee. We want the right person who comes there, and we're going to reduce the price again by 50, 60,000 euros for one of our network. And we will ask them the question, which is, will you look after the cats? And if they're from the network, particularly the new network, well, we will know that they mean yes when they say yes. Yeah. We don't want people who say shoo, go away, shoo. This is not a shoo kind of place. Nope. This is thank you for sharing this place with us, you lovely creatures. Yeah. So, that's the contradiction. If we have to, we'll sell one house. We don't want to, but if we can find the right person, I can tell you, if you've got the money, it's a fantastic investment. The price of this area has gone up 3-fold since we've been there, and it can only go up. Syros is the number 2 favoured place on one of these sites. Yep. Most friendly people, most rising island. It's got a hospital. It's fabulous. It's an all year round. Don't go to Mykonos. Come September, the place is empty, and there's just starving cats walking along the streets. It's improved on Syros. There are many good people trying to help. So we got this farm, and this new project is for people who want to become fellows, what's the word, friends or family members, part of the community. And that means everyone has to pay something. Now, what do they have to pay? Well, we have 110,000 followers. We reckoned €5 a month shouldn't be above anyone paying. But if €5 is too much, 4 or 3. But let's set it at 5 and more if you can. And if only 50,000 join, great. And if only 5,000 join, great. And if it's only 2,000, we'll make it work. But 2,000 people paying €5 a month would give us the money so that we don't have to keep every week saying, oh God, we need money for Sparky, we need money for this cat. Because when we do, and when we're worrying in the middle of the night, and when Joan posts, can you help us with the medicine for this or that cat? I tell you what breaks our heart is it's the same group of people every time who come up and help. It's a growing group of people, very slowly, but we know the names. We know you out there. We know your names. Joan says, oh, so-and-so in Texas, right, she's offered to do this. Oh, that one in England. And they are true supporters of this project. But we want the feeling that there's 1,000 or 2,000 so that that community is the centre of a new people living on the planet who've got some purpose about living on the planet. Now,
can I just say, yes, we are going to show the barn and the place.
Oh, have I gone over my 15 minutes?
No, it's someone asking.
All right,
yes,
it's coming.
Jessica,
it's coming, but this is important because we have got no money for the barn. We've come here on a wing and a prayer. I mean, we're here in a house. There's no heating in this house. And that's our business. It's a little house. That's our business. It's our business. We've never made an issue of that. So please become a patron. That's one. If you're interested in the house, write to Helen. There's now a new fundraiser.
The fundraiser that
site.
we have had on the go all the time,
Yeah.
and that the first chunk, I think, was something like €10,900. That's what we used last year as part of the purchase of this farm, which is, of course, is dedicated towards the farm area, the last that we'll show you.
So we're trying to raise €30,000, and Joan will go through it with you in the farm, in the barn next year. Next thing is that if you're interested in buying the top house, you want to donate to the fundraiser, but join People, Planet and Purpose, which is really phase 2 of God's Little People.
As a patron, yeah.
As a patron. And if we could find one more Patreon who wants to donate some money, loan us some money for a year. We had a number of extra ones but we took the minimum because we have to pay it back come October. But if someone in March wants to loan us the money, you can write to Helen about it, or be a half patron. You get a week's stay, and so on and so forth. So there are ways to help, and all the story of People, Planet and Purpose will be for the family who join this. And that might seem, I don't know, it's not meant hard, and I'm not meaning it hard, but for 13, 14 years, we'd hoped that as it grew and hundreds, I think 1.7 million people a month look at our site.
Yeah.
But it's the state of this world. I'm sorry that when we came to this little area of Denmark, I went to great lengths to find a Ukrainian person to help us do some things in the garden. It's no big deal. It's not. It's a small, tiny thing, but one finds a way to think about. When it's about harm, is that I can't just say the poor people of Ukraine. I can't get anywhere with that. I've got to make some small action that corresponds to that feeling inside. Otherwise, I die inside. I do it to keep human. That's what we told the vets about why we save all these cats. They were so surprised. We said it. We did it so that we don't lose the feeling of being human. Well, we feel that they're our family too. So, Joan, anything? Otherwise, I'm going to hand over to you. Joan's going to walk you around to the barn.
I think it's about time that we...
yeah, it's about time. I can feel on the network just having to listen to Richard for hours. But it gives you a break.
Yes.
Thank you for listening.
Okay, I'm going to take you outside and take you for a tour of the barn, so stay with us. Hope the connection will work.
If not, we'll reconnect within a second.
Yeah, okay. You want to come along? Right, here we go. Are you coming, Richard? Okay, so this is all from part of the renovation we've started so far around the place. And here you see the barn. Let me just swirl you around so you can see the land. It is very peaceful around here, and it is very safe for the cats. And we have in the field that you see over here, we have a lovely deer family of 5 that we saw at Christmas when we were here, and we've seen them again several times this time. And they just quietly move around. So actually the garden extends far at the back. This whole forest you see here is part of the land. And at the far back in the distance there's a stream which also belongs to the place. And that is the entrance you see up here. And there's also just vast fields, literally, as far as it reaches. It is just vast fields up there, and it's completely quiet. Fields all around the place. And so let me take you inside the barns. So, if you're with us, this is what we want to do up for the cats. The builder that came here, he said that, it would be great to put in heating in the floor, which would really warm it up, which would be terrific for the cats. We want to get some heaters for the stalls, obviously, some straw bales, Eventually we would love to get some doors that bring in some more light, some bigger windows, but this is where the cats would just have, they would have a fantastic space in here. And of course, as you can see, we'll get doors out to the field on the other side where they can roam freely, and they can roam around here freely. So if you want to support this is what we'd love to have your continued support for. Let's see. All right, here we are. So,
I mean, they'll have a blast here.
Yeah,
but they'll be safe. Yeah. And we'll also create in there or in the next building a centre where we do our videos and proper recordings. I want to share some of my work with the new PPP network, the work I do with Kay in America. But we want that to be an interactive network. We want to hear your stories because everywhere we want to help communities to think about people living on the planet in a purpose. And this is the first one of them. This is dedicated to cats. So everything that we're doing here is about the cats. But Kay and I and others are going to try to help around the world in giving some of these wisdoms, and this will always be the first founding story of People, Purpose and Planet that you join. But it's interactive. We want to hear your stories. We have friends in New York who are doing amazing work with cats in Brooklyn. It sounds like such a contradiction. And we want to build a picture, and we can get funding from this. Right, because there has to be a very clear, relevant purpose in these times about this terrible state we find ourselves in, that we cannot just idly sit by and watch this world decline. Well, we can't. We believe you're on this network because you're people like us. So Joan has got a wonderful vision about the barn, and we have a bit of a joke in the family that Joan has a 51% veto on any project to do with all the cat things. So she's got a wonderful taste of how to make things really just right for them, as you know from Delphine. it'll be a wonderful barn.
Yeah, so some of you also asked, it is on Moon here in Denmark, if some of you know where that is. Moon, and it this place where we are is close to what's called Moon's Klint, and it is a very special biosphere. The nature here is amazing. We pass fields where you just get whole fields where swans are lying, and we see wild hares jumping about and flocks of birds, and what else did we see? Yeah, the deers, of course. And
The hawks.
Hawks. It's very special around here.
So Helen is our link to this project. Go back through. So Helen, I'm sure you'll write to everyone. She's great at following all this up. She's been enormous help. And Gail, Melinda out there, hi. Enjoy the warmth of Greece, Melinda. You'll be back in Nordic cold soon. Haha. And
what else was I going to say? Oh yeah, someone asked, if we're leaving Greece altogether. No, we're not leaving Greece altogether. The sanctuary in Greece stays just where it is. And we have caretakers in place. And of course, the cats that are there, some of them cannot easily be removed from that sanctuary. So of course they stay, and we still got our 2 stray colonies that we look after every day. So of course we're not just going to abandon them, but there are cats that would be more suitable to be in Denmark, like the ones that are sun sensitive, because they do get cancer, from the sun exposure in Greece. And some of the shy ones that have been running away from the sanctuary for years, we want them to feel more protected, because we have some very sweet little ones, like Pudding, who lives up in the hills. He doesn't like all the cats, and she's such a sweetheart. And Bellissima, some of you know as well, which is the one that we have brought with us to Denmark the last few years when we have been here just for brief sabbaticals. So yes, the sanctuary in Greece stays, but we continue here in Denmark, and we continue our good work, of course. So.
Just one last thing from me is that the God's Little People Facebook page will still be through Gail advertising the adoptions. Joan, you'll still be fundraising for, every week, the needs of the cats. But the second phase story is what people are being invited to pay towards. We can't do it without some support, but we want to feel not just money support, but the feeling of other humans with us, giving this our best shot. So
absolutely.
That's it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Richard and Joan signing off from Denmark. Bye.